Hey there. This is going to mostly be about truckers as the new citizen diplomats because of the driver swapping exchange services that are coming online where you can sign up to just drive somewhere. It's not like you can easily disappear into some host country. Trucks are pretty electronified, but they're not driverless. And I didn't want to make anyone think I was like a Silicon Valley driverless car kind of person because I'm not saying, one way or another. I think they need some model cities to test them in. I don't think you can just set that stuff loose. And I think everyone knows that. But, I'm all into prototype cities of tomorrow where we prototype whatever people mover solutions you have. Driverless cars make a lot of sense, decentralized, that they sense each other. It's not some computer in the sky that's managing them all. So makes a lot of sense, but not if you mix it up with a bunch of like human drivers and different reflexes. And anyway, with the truckers though, it's a whole different thing. And I'll mention that in a second. I just wanted to say I enjoyed this morning's or today's discussion, multi-time zone, regarding the ethics of getting calculators for kids this summer, for next year. I mean, if you're going through that ritual and you're not looking seriously at what you need for today's world, now's the time. So take a look, check it out. EduSig, June, you'll figure it out. So then back to trucking. So what we're thinking about here, let me go back to my list of medium writings because that's where you'll find some of this stuff in a pretty pure form. But you're getting academic credit and you're filing reports, like you're telling us about what's going on really where you're visiting, and nobody's like holding you at fault for this. You're not like a spy because everyone's keeping a journal, right? It's your chronofile that goes with your truck. It's like a captain's log. Nobody accuses a captain who keeps a log, a ship's log, of spying on his ship, right? So if you're a trucker and you're going through Middle East or China or North America or South America and you're keeping a log and maybe online, a journal, pictures, updating, right? All the 4 9 yards, whatever we've got with technology going, right? I'm not trying to keep it like you got a pencil and paper in your back pocket just like that. It's like you got 3D GoPro, you've got whatever, right? 360. So as the driver, you have a lot of skills. And the advantage of this is we have a lot of people already doing that job, right? We don't need to have a whole separate side trip of diplomats and embassies as much. I'm not saying we don't need those, but as far as people getting along, we need the private sector to play that game just as much. So, if I have a fleet of trucks around the world and I want to swap my drivers around inside that network, I know there's citizenship, visa issues, all that kind of stuff, but don't call it like a problem, right? We're not trying to go driverless right now because we expect our drivers to do more work of a different kind and to be compensated accordingly. It's something I don't think anyone should be forced into. If you don't want to go drive in Japan, for one thing, if it's on the other side of the road, right, you'd have to pass some tests there. But what if it's the same side of the road? And what if you don't speak Japanese? Well, the truck stops we're looking at are kind of like shopping malls. They're very cosmopolitan. They have food courts, and there's lots of jibber jabber in different languages. You don't feel outnumbered by any one language necessarily. Now, in some you do. Like you get off the beaten path and it's like all English or all French or whatever, that's fine. We're going to not blend all the cultures into a gray goo. That's not the goal. But there's always been a merchant class of people who like to go between places and tour the world and so on, and who wants to shut that down, right? And if you want to haul some truck while you're doing that, you want to like transport goods and not just be a tourist, you want to do some work, more power to you. No wonder you've got that uh, degree or whatever that, your work's been appreciated. So all right, so that's the kind of picture of the future. I'm not a driverless truck guy in my specialty. even if there's going to be driverless trucks. I'm working on a different scenario that's not mutually exclusive. You can have your driverless truck prototype freeways and tunnels, maybe, right? And still have the citizen diplomats doing, like, Afghanistan to Istanbul is what I'm picturing. A lot of people doing, right? And there'll be less, the nutcases won't be starting the wars as easily with people of all nationalities at the truck stops at all times, right? That's, if you want a deterrent, just don't let them, be aware when they get all their people out of the way, they're going to start something. We already see that in the case of the current people who don't even hide their cards. It's not even a mystery. But okay, so I'm going to put the trucker thing front burner here and encourage you to, I don't know where you're exactly going to do it first at the highest levels, because there's a multi-management setup, so you might be listening to this in Africa somewhere and not through YouTube, right? So it's like wherever it's happening. Facebook's an amazing place. Okay, talk to you later.